What's going on, YouTube? Old Soldier coming at you again from Robeson County, North Carolina. Off to a late start on the video today. Leaving work. Well, I can give y'all one as I'm headed to work. I just finished teaching and closing out the day with my boss. Getting ready to head to the hacienda to eat some lunch and help Mrs. Old Soldier do laundry. Ain't that a honey-do list for you? But anyway, folks, hope everybody's had a great start to their day so far. Been kind of cool here this morning. Excuse me for yawning. But I think tomorrow the temperature's going to start warming back up a little bit. But nowhere near the extremely hot and high mid to high 90s we had a few weeks ago with all the humidity. But I think they're saying this weekend we will get some rain from Hurricane Sally, the one that's kind of pushing more towards north up, potential landfall around New York and Massachusetts area. But they say we may get some rain off of it this weekend. We shall see. But anyway, keep yawning for some reason. But anyway, folks, a few things, like I said, I talked about last week. I'm just gonna reinforce again this week. Is stock up on those canned goods. You know that it's gonna last 1 to 2 years, if not longer. So as you're doing your daily shopping for what you need, for weekly or bi-weekly, however you shop for your groceries, start to pick up a can or two extra of beans, rice, pastas and noodles. Oh, go again. Things that are easy to somewhat prepare, that don't need a whole lot of heat per se, I guess you'd say, or a whole lot of preparation. You just kind of eat them and eat type deal. Canned meats, your spams, corned beef, ham spreads, chicken spreads, whatever the case may be. A lot of those have a 1 to 2, maybe even 3 year shelf life. Kind of stock up on them now. One that I haven't done that maybe I ought to, and it's only because I don't drink anymore, but you can stock up on drinking alcohol for trading materials, they say, but it can also be used for medicinal purposes, for home remedies. I do need to get a bottle of whiskey for that, as far as making homemade hot toddies. And yes, they do work, folks, as long as you don't abuse them. But the alcohol in it's good for cleaning wounds, that kind of thing. Other things, first aid. Let's not be remiss on first aid. Get yourself a good first aid kit. You can buy one that's pre-made, or you can make one by going to your local pharmaceutical store, or say pharmaceutical store, your local pharmacy or drugstore, Walmart, if you shop there, anywhere that sells basic first aid supplies. You can build a kit, or a Sportsman's Guide got a big green chest that comes pretty well stocked. I forget how much I paid for one through them. But Band-Aids, ace bandages, gauze wraps, antibiotic ointment, like your Neosporin, iodine, you need that. The Bactrin antiseptic spray for minor cuts and scrapes is good to have. Gauze pads from you know, your 2x2 inch squares up to your 4x4 inch squares. Cotton batting. That's, you know, for your big wounds that you need to absorb a lot of blood or to put pressure on for a, you know, pressure wound. Splint materials for broken bones. Stock up on those. Over-the-counter medications like Tylenol, aspirin, Sudafed, you know, your basic cold remedy medications. It's not going to hurt to have an on-hand stock of those as well. Especially now as we're getting ready to enter cold and flu season, on top of COVID, on the fact that there's also shortages of things starting to show up and be seen. Okay, so these are some things you probably need to start looking at getting now in the next coming weeks, because who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks as far as supplies go. And for those that have already stocked up on it, you know, good to go. But if not, if you haven't, you need to start. Bottled water, yeah, if you can get it, stock up on some of it. I mean, for me, not so important because I'm on well water where I'm at, but we do have X amount of bottled water as well. Those are some things to think about, folks, in the next coming weeks. Because like I said, and I pray I'm wrong. I absolutely pray that I'm wrong. But the day after the election, I just think it's all going to break loose. One way or the other, it's just going to be a whole bunch of mess going on. How long will it last? I'm not even going to speculate. I've heard people talk, oh, it'll be 3 months, it'll be 9 months, it'll be a year. I'm not even going to speculate. I just know that the day after the election, I feel it more than I know it, that you know what's going to break loose, one way or the other. Doesn't matter who wins, something is going to happen. So kind of get these things prepared now. If you have a generator, service it, get it ready. Why do I need a generator, old soldier? Well, some of these disturbances that are going to happen, I'm afraid, will interrupt power in some places. So if you have a means of producing or generating your own power, it makes things a little more sustainable. That's all I'm getting at. I'm not trying to preach gloom and doom. Things will get back to some measure of civilized normalcy, but I got a feeling, though, that it's going to be chaos for a while before it does, before things get back under control. Ammunition. Folks, I don't know what to tell you about ammunition right now. I don't reload, and a little late for me to get into it right now. And plus, right now, I've just got nowhere to do it with the house being in the shape that it's in, and we're waiting to try and get it replaced. But if you know someone that reloads, see what kind of bargain you can work with them. And I'm hearing rumors that there's certain reloading supplies that are starting to come up in shortages. So I don't even know about that. But ammunition, if you can find it for the weapons you've got, get what you can and stock, you know, stock up on what I deem a reasonable amount to have, which is whatever you decide you need. Because the reality, end of the day, is if you're staying in place, you know, you can have a large amount of ammunition. But if you have to up and move somewhere, you can only carry so much. So keep that in mind, but that's another story for another time. But ammunition's starting to, it's still, the manufacturers, from what I understand, are doing their best to get it out there. But there's a shortage. Everywhere I looked yesterday, everybody's out of stock. Well, I take that back. Cheaper and Dirt said they had some in stock, but they've doubled their prices. I know, I looked yesterday. A box of Blazer 9mm full metal jacket, which was like $19, $20 a month ago, they were wanting $54 for yesterday. So keep that in mind. That's the other thing that's going to happen with these shortages. The things they do have in supply, prices are going to increase. And I'm already feeling that right now, trying to get my house replaced. What in reality ought to have only cost me $175,000, $180,000, that's counting demolition, is now looking at $210,000. Why? Because the price of lumber has almost tripled overnight. Okay, that's just one building material out of X amount. I've got friends in the electrical industry that are telling me that they're having a hard time finding breakers because the manufacturers have been shut down because of COVID. So they're not. So the warehouse stockpile has dwindled. So until the people get back to work remaking them, there'll be the shortage. So there's a snowball and ripple effect going on here, folks. So get what you can while you can, and just kind of start getting yourself prepared now. One bit of advice I heard was stock up on cash. Yeah, I would say coin more than cash. Because coin has a certain amount of precious metal that I think would be more valuable than a piece of paper. But yeah, have a certain amount of cash surplus on hand, if you will. But I would look more at bartering and trade goods myself. But just hard to say how this thing's all going to turn out after November. But anyway, enough of my ramblings for now, folks. Just some stuff I wanted to put out there to kind of get you in a frame of mind to kind of prepare yourselves best you can. You know, I'm not the world's best expert on a lot of things, but common sense tells me that there's certain things we need to get ourselves ready for in the coming days and weeks. So until tomorrow, my friends, God bless. Take care. It's the Old Soldier out.